All right, this is the next episode in Saving Amanda. And the last one we got all of our linkages connected on the carburetor, the automatic governor linkage, and the thermostat linkage. The tank's installed. We need to install this plate here, and we're taking special care to make sure that this crankcase vent is in place here, as it hasn't been in the past. And let me get me a little paper towel here. We're gonna just rub it around here where this gasket's gonna be touching and clean that off. We want a good contact there to keep any air leakage out. All right, so another good thing to maybe point out is if you look at this plate, because the screws are out, you can see these holes real easy now. And that's a 5/16 hole, that's the 5/16 hole. These two are the 9/32 that actually attaches to the carburetor. All right, so now I'm gonna take special care. I'm gonna put these little pins fit in the hole below the threaded one. It kind of holds it in place. And I'm going to make sure that I'm sliding this into that manifold or the crankcase vent. Make sure it's pushed on there, and it is. Get it pushed on there real good. I don't want that coming off. There we go. That's pushed on there real good. All right, so now I can put I'm going to start a 5/16. I'm not going to tighten any of these yet. Well, first, let me make sure that these carburetor openings are lining up, and I do see that. So I think this little screw is going to go in there. Sometimes you have to move the carburetor up and down to get it to go in there, because these holes won't line up with the carburetor. They appear to be lining up right now, so let's see. This one is too. All right, so I'm going to get these 9/32 started if I can. Okay, that's going in, and that's going in. So I'm just getting them started. Now I'm going to get my 5/16, and those I can go ahead and get almost snug. There we go. Get that one going. And this one. All right. I use a 5/16. It goes into a metal bracket. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn this wrench with my hand. That'll help snug that up, because these are going into metal, so they can be snug. Now, the ones I'm going to tighten now are going into plastic. So I've got my wrench, electric drill on the lowest setting. I'm going to put these screws in. I'm going to put this one in a little bit. Okay, it's snug. And that one's snug. I don't really want to go beyond that. Well, that's all snug. This is all good. All right, so now I can put my air filter, which I assume the last owner tried to work on the carburetor, left things off, and was having problems with it. So I'm going to put this perfectly good air filter back on. You can see how nice and clean it is. There we go. And the air filter cover, the two little clips there go into the two holes there. So you go push that down and you'll hear a little snap. So that's in place now. So we're good with that. So let's get our vanity cover installed using the long 5/16 screws that come with that. 1, 2, 3. You take a look, those are lining up really good. Sometimes you have to move this thing around sometimes to get them to line up. These look perfect. So let me get my 5/16 socket. That's not lining up. Try there. There we go. Do this by hand. Last little bit. Socket slipped off. And there we go. All right, I'm going to look at this spark plug. I haven't done anything with it yet. Before I start messing around with the blade, I want to look at it anyway. Let me get my spark plug wrench. Which is this guy. Okay, it's not loose, so that's good. I just want to make sure the gap is okay on this thing. And I'm always worried that he might have it closed off and too tight and not enough gap, and then you can have serious problems. So I'm just going to twist this thing on around here by hand. Yeah, that gap is wrong. I don't know if you can see that or not. See that? It's so snugged up there. To me, that's how you can start a fire with these mowers. If somebody doesn't know what they're doing and they got the gap where it's almost touching. Get another closer look at this. Okay. Can you see that? I mean, that is almost touching. I'm so glad I took the time to check that. Maybe a little piece of debris in there too. But that is way too close, way too close. So let me get my gauge. So I'm going to re-gap this plug. I'm going to re-gap this plug to 0.030 or 0.031. Right there is the sweet spot. And here's my gapping tool. And let's see if I can even slide it on at all. So you can't. So it's like, it's touching. I mean, come on, man. That is terrible. That is unsafe. So here's the little circle here on this. There's an edge you can use to slip this in here, and then you can start to bend that thing up and get it to open. I don't think I got it on that one. Let me try this one. One of these seems to work better than the other one. There we go. Got a little bit of resistance there, so yeah, that opened it up a lot better. See if I can even, yeah, see that sliding in. Oh, look at that. It's right on it. That's good. Got the piece of crud out of there and everything. That's pretty good, people. All right, so I'm going to reinstall this plug. I dropped it, so I'm going to look at it again. Yep, that's still good. That's a Champion RC 12YC. That's the plug you want if you put the Champion in. RC 12YC. You can buy them at Walmart for a couple of bucks. Don't go to Lowe's or Home Depot and think you're going to get it for a couple of bucks, because they're going to charge a little bit more than that. Here's my wrench. Just nice and snug, not over tightened. Now I'm going to leave that wire off because I got to work on this blade. So let's tilt this mower back to give me access to the blade. I've got a toolbox on the handle, and that does compress the engine brake, so I can move that blade around. And that's the other reason I disconnected that spark plug wire, because you can get fire up there when you don't want it for safety reasons. Let's see, this is not lining up too good. There we go. Okay, that's better. But I've got to get all this stuff off of here. Look at that. Major plastic crap all knotted around there. Let me get my blade stopped. There's a C-clamp and a couple of blocks of wood. Put that on the edge there. Open up your C-clamp. Almost got it. There we go. Okay, now when this blade swings around, it's going to hit that chunk of 2x4. Now I can get that off. And interestingly enough, this screw is the same as the spark plug screw. But I don't think I'll have enough torque on this to get it off. Maybe I will. No. I'm going to use my breaker bar. That is this big old guy to give me the leverage that I need. So I've got a different drive on here, so I've got to get the right. That's not it. Okay, this is it's a 5/8 socket. Fits nice and snug. Let me go ahead and pop this on this breaker bar. Now I've got some leverage, and I can really get it going here. Man, they put this thing on tight. That is above spec, I suspect. Fingers now. I don't see any spiders or anything up in here, so that's always good. Let me take a look at this blade, make sure it's not bent or anything. It appears to be in good shape. It's just not very sharp. Sometimes this stuff will just start to unwind once you get the blade off. It helps. get some landscaping fabric or a piece of tarp and some pretty strong plastic there. Let me get my needle nose pliers. That'll help me grab this stuff. And just start pulling and ripping and cutting where you have to. If you can't get it, let me see if I find one of my pocket knives. There we go. You don't want to be jabbing around up high on this, or you'll cut that main seal. So any cutting you want to do away from the bottom of the deck. Okay, I'm really starting to get this stuff off now. And the adapter's in real good shape. You know, sometimes these things will get ground down to nothing because they haven't attached the blade securely. That looks pretty good. Now this blade really needs to be sharpened, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab another one that's sharper. Yeah, that's a new blade. Let's put this one on. I think Amanda deserves a new blade. Take my block off for now and get this thing started with the screw and the washer. These little holes line up with those holes. That helps kind of hold it in place. And you start just tighten it with your fingers. Just enough to hold it in place, and then you can start bearing down with your breaker bar. There we go. So that's all squared up and nice. And so now I'm going to move this very gently over here. It's not going to start because I've got the spark plug wire disconnected. Now when I turn it, see, the blade's going to hit the block on the other side. That's the reason I took the clamp off. All right, that's great. Okay, that's snugged up. Now I can tighten this with the breaker bar. Since it's loose, I'm going to go ahead and use this one first and then use the breaker bar. This is easier to move. There we go. Now we'll snug it up good with the breaker bar. There's one, there's two, and that's some pretty good resistance, so that should be enough. Turn this blade by hand and see what I've got here. Looks like it doesn't look like the crankshaft is bent, but it might be. You never know. I'm looking to see what's out of line. I may have to swap this thing out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. They've hit something so hard that they have busted the flywheel key on the adapter. See how rough looking that is? Right there. That's not good. This may be okay. Just because I'm looking to see if anything's out of line here. But that gap looks good, and that matches that gap over there. Let's look at this, see. This doesn't appear to have a lot of compression. Yeah, there's not a lot of compression on this mower just yet. But sometimes it'll surprise you. Look at that piece of wire, that needs to come out of there. Look at that metal. Woo! Let me see if I can grab that. There's a piece of metal wire. You don't want that down there hitting your blade. Going out there. Okay. I think that's got it. Now this mower did fire with starter fluid, but it wasn't a powerful fire. There may be more damage here than I thought. It could be that this blade adapter may just spin on this crankshaft unless I replace it. We'll know that soon. So that's enough for now. I'll be pulling the cord on